and welcome to our favorites here at Off Slate Media. We got Jake, we got Jared, Dickey here. We are ready to rock and roll with, ready for this? Disney live action remakes. Why do we choose this again?
Boo.
Because we're masochists.
I mean, it's are there any good ones?
Two?
Are those the ones that you two picked?
No. Not for him. Mine, yes.
What's the other one?
We want to preface this by saying we forgot about Christopher Robin.
And also...
Does that count?
Yeah.
Is that technically a remake of
They count it. If Disney counts it,
Really?
then it...
I should have picked it. I love it.
I've never actually seen it. And
It's-
I know
it's really good.
Ewan McGregor, so I'm probably going to love it. But
It's good. It's fun. It's just we forgot it because I don't think of it as a remake.
I never even thought about that.
I never think about it as a remake.
I forgot about it until I brought it up to you.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, should we do the ones we actually picked?
No. We can do his. Can we just skip the rest of it? We're just going to talk about one movie this week.
No, it's important to talk about how these movies are flawed, to say the least. So, Jake...
Mine is literally a garbage fire. And it's literally on fire, and it's green fire.
There's green in this movie?
What?
No way, there's green? No way.
So
it's actually kind of funny. We really...
Go ahead.
I might wait until mine to say this, because I think it's kind of funny that the main color of yours is green, and there was a very important part of mine that's red, and this is coming out near Christmas time.
Yours is very green, too.
Well,
Yours
it
is
is very green.
Mine's very green.
But
They're all green. All of them are green.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of funny? Yours, Jake, looks the worst, but the least colorful or interesting looking one is his.
I actually disagree.
That's true. No,
I
that's
think mine
true.
looks fantastic.
Yours
Yours looks the most.
it looks washed out.
Yeah.
I mean,
At least mine, it's
for
like
the
real.
colors?
And at least his, there's a lot of colors in that
I will give
thing.
you for the colors.
Thing.
But I
That's
think,
what I'm talking about. Just like the actual look of
the
it.
actual visual effects they use during my pick, which I'm just going to throw out there really quick, is Jungle Book. I think that is... But anyway, we're not talking about...
Are we talking about...
We gotta
it
go
right
back.
now?
We gotta go back.
Hold on.
What'd you pick, Jake?
What'd you pick?
So let me set the stage.
Ooh.
What
Tell us a tale.
What is this, like 2016?
14.
No. Sorry. That's when it came out. It's 2019. Jake had just gone and seen Aladdin. He'd seen Cinderella. He'd seen The Lion King. He'd seen your pick.
You can just say what mine was.
Not your pick. Sorry. Seen The Jungle Book. All movies that had told the same story that I had heard for the past 30-some years. My pick, Maleficent, came out. And I sat down and I watched it. And I thought, this is pretty good. It's a breath of fresh air. It's a different take, and they're not trying to tell the same story. I like this. Fast forward. It's 2022 now. We're sitting around this table. We're trying to pick our Disney picks. I say, I'm going to go with Maleficent.
You remember liking it.
I watch it. This was a mistake.
But so really quick, though, this is still technically your favorite out of all the other Disney live action.
Well, no.
No?
That's not a high bar. I don't know how to pick a favorite.
I know it's not a high bar. They're all flawed.
After rewatching this, I would either have to say my favorite is Jared's favorite, or my favorite is Cinderella. I liked that too.
Or Christopher Robin.
That's right. I forgot about it again.
I've never seen the newer Cinderella.
It comes down to, this is a show about our favorites.
Yes.
Part of the thing is we pick them based on what we thought of them last time we watched them.
Yes.
And we rewatch them and put them into a context. So we still have to claim the favorite thing. But at the same time, it's us looking at what we considered our favorite.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good. Yeah,
correct.
Thank you for saying
So
that.
there are times where it's not as good as we remember.
In talking about my favorite, I do think Angelina Jolie is a good Maleficent. However,
especially those cheekbones.
Weren't those prosthetics?
They might have.
Didn't I read that somewhere?
They might have.
That was the only good thing I had to say about the movie. You just ruined it.
Here's the thing. I wrote notes.
Hey, at least they were
if you can hear the paper, the very first note right here. Ready for this?
Cheekbones.
Holy crap, Angelina Jolie is flawless. She is a beautiful looking
person.
She absolutely is. Actor.
Whatever
she is
she
just
chooses
beautiful.
to be.
How can you not love Angelina Jolie?
Really can't.
Yeah, if you're Brad Pitt, you can't. I'm just saying. If he did, they'd still be together.
Let's not.
All right.
I'm just saying.
So the thing with Maleficent is, again, like I said, I remember it being a much bigger, fresh breath of fresh air.
A much fresher big.
Yeah.
Aerofresh. Much fresher air of fresh big.
Aerosol
fresh
spray.
New. Continue.
So I remember it being a much bigger breath of fresh air.
There you go.
When I watched it.
What did you say?
A bigger breath.
Continue, Jake. Continue, Jake. Continue.
Now, when I watched it this time, it was more like a stale car freshener. So
The one that you
here,
No, not even that. It's new car smell.
No, new car
see,
smells
but
good.
No,
when
it's
new
not.
car smell is
Yes, it
fresh, at least it has a smell.
Oh, that's true.
The thing with Maleficent is it's got an interesting story, but none of it is like actually in front of you. This week has taught me this. There is a significant drop in quality when you do not feel like something in a movie is in front of you. There is so much animation in Maleficent that you just wonder why they just didn't do it animated.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they're
Write it
already
better,
gonna
obviously,
animate it.
but you know,
It's because they wanted Angelina Jolie to play her. That's
they could have had her voice her.
yeah, but it's not the same. She doesn't have the same gravitas.
I mean,
I don't know.
I would take Angelina Jolie's Maleficent if they decided to do like a Kingdom Hearts movie. I'd take that.
That could be interesting.
That would be really interesting. I mean, Disney would make junk, but
Probably, but it would be interesting. I will say they also I'm glad you mentioned the first time you watched it because that's my second note that I wrote down. I was actually pretty mad on it the first time I saw it, and I remember because I saw it was me and I think my mom and some cousins and my aunt. We all went out to the theater and we saw this, and then we were all excited to watch it. I'm walking out of here, I'm like, that was pretty mediocre. And the rest of my family's like, that was fantastic. We loved it. I'm like, really? That was kind of just meh. It just, I don't know. It just, nothing really stands out. Nothing really.
there you said it again. Except this time he's right.
Yeah.
Nothing really just like plummets it. It's just there, in my opinion.
I think it came at a time when there weren't a whole lot of other ones.
This is the first, isn't it?
No.
No,
Oh.
the first one is 101 Dalmatians.
From 1995?
Okay, well,
Is that out? Was it really that
Something
early?
like that is considered the first
Look
one.
that up. I
Really?
thought it was like 97 or 98.
I should have picked
96.
that.
96.
I should
96?
have picked that.
That's technically
I
the first
never
one, but then they
thought
don't
about
do
that.
one for a while. Then you have the sequel
No,
to
they
that
did. They
one.
did 102 Dalmatians. Like,
That's
That was
what I
another
just
great
said.
isn't it like 3 years later though?
It was like 2002 or 3, I
Is
thought.
it really that far?
I literally just
I know,
said
you
just said they did that, and then they didn't do one for a while, except for the sequel.
Yes, dear. I was trying to
I'm looking at you
say.
because he jumped on me too. You both jumped.
I was
like,
trying to say that I felt like they did it sooner.
The point being, then there wasn't really one till Alice in Wonderland in 2010.
Alice in Wonderland. That's probably the
Which this is in the same field of there's so much of the special effects in front of you that it looks ugly.
I feel like Tim Burton's better at it though.
Well,
I've
'cause
never
Tim
seen
Burton
that
has
Alice in Wonderland.
has more of a style. Who directed this? But I should have wrote that down.
Robert
Some-
Stromberg.
Someone
is that?
generic.
Again,
Insert generic Disney director.
because especially when you have
Puppet strings too.
Oh, yeah.
well, because you guys mentioned like the absurd amount of CGI and effects. Like if you don't have a very stylized and creative mind behind it, like Tim Burton,
Yeah, I think
it's just bland.
Burton has more style and color into it, honestly.
Not just green.
I don't remember that movie being green. I remember this one being green.
There's a lot of,
But
green
like
in
there's a reason for it to be green though.
I know it's her whole
That
thing.
fire and smoke, that
It really
was probably
is.
my favorite effect in the whole movie. Like that was a good thing about it.
It was pretty cool.
You want to know what was throwing me off and making me fall asleep?
What's that?
Everything.
It feels like for how long is it?
It's not that
It's
long.
97 minutes.
Yeah.
I felt like the first hour is the first act. And there's a narrator way deep into that movie that doesn't feel like a
There's a
mid-movie
narrator
narrator.
all the
Still
way
for-
through that movie.
Yeah.
And you
but,
forget
They
about it.
end the movie with, and I should know
And
because I
it was Elle
Aurora.
Fanning the entire time.
Okay, I don't know anything else that she's been in, but
Oh, she's been in a bunch
I
of
did
stuff.
not like her in this movie.
She is a talented actress. She is.
I will give her that probably,
But
but then
she's-
she chose to do this movie.
You know who else I have a real beef with that I wrote down on this? Two things. One, we already kind of mentioned the CGI artists, but specifically the CGI artists who animated those fairies.
Oh.
That is haunting.
I was
because
telling-
here's the biggest issue I have. And I know her first name is Imelda
Staunton.
It was okay. Phenomenal Harry Potter. Phenomenal
Yeah, we
in
know.
The Crown.
I didn't realize
This
she was on the
sucks.
Well, you have her. You have Leslie Manville.
I mean,
Who
Who was
she's in Phantom Thread.
Mhm.
She's nominated
that's-
for. And then you have Juno Temple,
that name sounds familiar.
Ted Lasso.
Oh,
She's
right.
Keely.
Oh my god! How did I not
So those are the three fairies, and they
because
have really
it's
good
animated
chemistry.
poorly, and you hardly ever see her face when she's a human.
And
Oh,
and
and
they
they're-
have chemistry, but they don't
do.
because yes, they're not the focus, but they don't do anything with it,
No.
and most of their screen time is that animation. It's
And
like,
just seeing their like adult faces, like their real faces on tiny fairy bodies, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. And I did not like. No, no.
so how do you say the guy's name? Is the District 9 guy Charlton Copley?
Not a clue. I'm just gonna have to. trust
So
you.
he's
Is
the
that Stefan?
yeah. That accent was terrible. I
Oh my
remember like
God.
that's really bad.
I
That's really bad.
I will say to give him a touch, a teensy tiny little bit of credit. I liked his and Angelina Jolie's chemistry.
when he wasn't talking. He's not a bad actor, but
No.
that accent
Well,
was
'cause
so fun.
I feel like the horrible accent more came out like later, like the very first scene when they met each other and they were like laying there. I thought that was at least a little charming and there's the word, and a little more well done. But
Did this come out in the era that like something like, I don't even think it was a Disney remake, but like when stuff like Snow White and the Huntsman was popular?
I think so.
it was after
This is
So-
probably right around that time. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of like riding that Hobbit wave.
Yeah.
It's kind of on this like modernized fairy tale thing where we're taking fairy tales, we're remaking them, but then we're adding more
And
modern
Which
action tropes to them.
and now we've
wanted-
regressed back to
Yeah.
just telling the same story.
I
Yeah.
wanted to ask
because
you
it's a for sure hit.
I wanted to ask you guys a quick question because I wrote it down. I didn't remember because it's been ages since I've seen the first Sleeping Beauty. How did that end? Because I know for a fact that there's no way the daughter ended up with Maleficent. So they changed that, right?
Well, yeah, this whole thing is
So-
completely different.
Yeah.
I
I just can't
kind of
remember how it-
I kind of confused the end of it with the end of Snow White.
That's what I
This
did too.
the prince fights the dragon,
Mm-hmm. And that's
Kills
Snow
her.
White.
and the dragon, what?
He kills Maleficent as the dragon.
Does he knock
the
her off
original.
the bridge?
He's
Or
the
did he
fairies
just
are with him.
Go in the throat.
The dragon knocks the shield away, and the fairies give him the strength, and he throws the sword, and it hits, and you have that amazingly haunting scream from Maleficent. It's like, ah! That it might be the same yell from Snow White, even,
Oh, okay.
but and then she just collapses, and then I think when he looks, it's like the sword is in the ground, and there's like ash around it,
Okay.
and the smoke's clearing. Man, that original Sleeping Beauty's so good.
That's the thing. I don't know if I've actually.
I should have picked the original Sleeping Beauty. I know it wouldn't have counted, but I should have picked
Well, I
it.
don't think I've ever actually. If
Watched
I have,
it?
it's been a very long time. Because
It's
I feel like
beautifully animated.
for Sleeping Beauty, for some reason, what I remember in my head is more the book. Like I remember reading the picture book more than watching the original cartoon.
It does. Out of all the great scenes in the original, my favorite as a kid was the Scumps drinking song between Stefan and Philip's dad. Scumps, a toast to this night. And then the what's it? guy who's playing the lute, I can't think of the word, minstrel. Harry, the minstrel's just, while they're drinking, he's taking little sips, and by the end, he's gone. His head is in his lute, and he's just passed out. And because the two kings start fighting, like literally because they're eating, one of them picks up like a fish and he starts swinging at him, and then they start laughing at how stupid they're acting. And I was thinking, like, in the middle of this dark, big, epic fairy tale, we have these two guys just arguing with each other and drinking. Oh my god, that's funny. And guess what? There's more character in that one little scene than in this entire movie. The thing I was saying about the first acting, like, yes, the narrator's through it, but the narrator always feels like it's the type that opens the movie, and then just every time it pokes in every 20 minutes, it's like, oh yeah, that's right.
So it's like Matt Damon narrating Spirit.
Oh, yeah. In a way,
right, though.
Yeah.
You're so right.
And it's like, it keeps feeling like it's building up the story to start the movie, and then an hour in, it's still feeling like it's setting up.
That's a good
and then the second and third acts just whoosh. This is, as much as I hate to say it, this probably needed 20 more minutes to fill out the story, but I don't want 20 more minutes. And just the whole thing, like, I don't mind this existing on paper because it's like, hey, different perspective, we're changing things. That's fine. Mm-hmm. It's a character, though, that I remember when the movie came out, I said to my brother, like, I do not want to see that. And he goes, why? It looks great. And I go, because I always found Maleficent's character in the original to be fine without a backstory. I don't need a backstory. This is one of Disney's best villains.
Oh, I love one.
She's terrifying.
Most iconic.
Yeah.
One of the things I wrote down. Oh, I think Maleficent turns into the dragon, obviously. So yes, I did add. So I really quick. I went to Disney World as a kid quite often, and my parents. Don't make that a thing.
Hold on, Dickey, I can't hear you. Your nose is too high in the air.
Oh my god. I was just getting around to saying there's
all the time.
I mean, he was given a car for driving a dog down to Florida.
You were.
I was. I am privileged, I realize this. Anyway, I was just trying to say, in Disney World, there is a show called Fantasmic. Do you remember?
Fantasmic?
I forgot about that.
So it is an awesome, super entertaining show, at least when I was a kid, at least from when I remember it. And they built up Maleficent's dragon, and she was big and scary, and it was awesome.
Green fire?
There was green fire too, and it was so cool because it was so terrifying. And I worry, and I don't want kids nowadays to lose that awesome, awesome villain that we had. And I just hope they remember, like, it's been like 8 years since I've been in Disney World. I am very curious to know if they actually updated their Fantasmic show.
I don't know. You went all the time. Tell us.
I said I haven't been there in ages.
I was going to say, you say when you're a kid, you realize when you were a kid going there regularly.
I swear to God.
Could have been 10 years after the last time I was there.
Yeah, that's very fair. That's very fair. Because I want to throw that out there, that I remember Maleficent being an awesome villain in that, and
she's one of the main villains in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
You only get to fight the dragon once, though.
She's a great villain. Keep her the villain. She kind of is still the villain.
I don't know how to feel about, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to pick something that I'd be so negative about, but so far I have not watched something that I have felt so.
Really quick before we move on to the next pick, is there any teensy tiny little bit of positive?
I don't even remember the music.
Is there anything you like in this?
Do you remember the music?
Nope.
I still like that it's a different perspective.
Okay, that counts.
That's it.
I will give you that. I will absolutely give you that.
What was I going to say, though? The dude that she turns into a crow instead of her.
Oh, yeah!
I like him he's funny.
He was a good side character.
I don't know that I like him being the thing that turns different shapes instead of her. I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense.
I should have written that down because I think the same exact thing that you were thinking, especially at the end. I wanted her to be the dragon, not him. And
it did kind of look like a Game of Thrones dragon, didn't it?
Kind of, a little bit, yeah. I think it's just a modern dragon. It's kind of what the look is. But
overall, the movie is basically a good idea on paper with terrible execution.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it boils down to.
At least it's a new idea, right? At least it's a new adjacent. I don't know. But
if it was a direct retelling, it would have been even worse.
Exactly. But speaking of direct retellings, let's move on to our next pick. Remind me, were we doing Jungle Book or Jared's?
It's mine.
Jared's.
Okay. Jared, you have, at least for you two, your favorite pick out of the three of us. I did like this too, but go on.
Pete's Dragon. Now, let me set the stage here.
We're getting into this. Let's go, baby.
So, in 2016, Jungle Book was getting all the press for the live-action remake.
Yep.
The train had started rolling for the last couple of years now because of Maleficent, Cinderella. And I heard Pete's Dragon was getting a remake, and I thought, that actually makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because they have technology to update that part of the story, and they can, that could be interesting. And then it came and went, and I didn't even hear about it when it came out. So before 2016 probably is when I heard about it, but in 2016 I remember thinking like, oh yeah, that's this year. And sometime I think early in 2017 it was put on Netflix or something, and that's how I saw it because I was like, oh, I'll watch this. And I loved it. I was like, it's really simple, and I think that's why it's working. And Jake's going to talk about that, of course. But I remember thinking for a while, like, this movie, maybe it's more of this is the only one that needs to exist, and I actually liked it. Is that the only reason why I'm so big on it? But then rewatching it this time, I was like, no, this is actually a good movie. They update the source material in a great way where not only are we actually filming in real places, but it's shot by a competent director with a style, with memorable scenes. The dragon is done really well because it's the only thing we have to do a lot of effects on.
That's one of the primary reasons why this works so well is because as opposed to everything else in the live action remake sort of thing, it's set in a world that we understand because all of it is real, except for this one thing that's not supposed to be real. Except for the fire looked a little bit weird.
Yeah, the fire was. Well,
but
again, all the money was going to Jungle Book.
Although
and Pete, Elliot.
The real question is, how many 20-hour days do you think those CGI artists had to work to make that fluffy look so fluffy? Because you're right, that dragon looked great.
Yeah, so I remember thinking, like, this is exactly how to remake something because you can watch both of them and get a completely different feeling. Because the original I saw as a kid, and I did not like it that much. I remember parts of it scaring me when they capture Elliot, but then, like, I was just uninterested because it is a live-action animation hybrid where Elliot is animated and everything else is live-action. It was made in the 70s, I think like 77, something like that. And it's also over 2 hours long, and it's a musical.
I didn't know it was a musical.
Whereas this, so it's like if you look at it,
they gave this the Mulan treatment. Then they took all the music out of it.
Yeah, but this is good. I've not seen.
Yeah, he said it's filmed in real places.
I actually haven't seen Mulan either.
So when you look at the blueprint of this, it's like, okay, let's take a movie at this point that's almost 40 years old. We'll update the technology so it's not animated. It looks like he could actually exist. We shorten it by 20 minutes. We take all the songs out, and I can't remember the story. The original has to do with Pete's dad is like lost at sea, and his mom is like hoping he'll come back. And then there's these.
So it's completely different.
Yep, and there's like Mickey Rooney and someone else are trying to capture Elliot. Like there's a bunch at play. And in this one, they simplify it to Pete is living in the woods because of a car accident, and Elliot is the reason why he survived. And now it's gotten to this point where both of them kind of have to move on because now the world has found them. Mm-hmm. Because now he's found a family with Bryce Dallas Howard and Wes Bentley and what's her name? I can't remember.
Bryce Dallas Howard's great in this.
I can't remember what her name is.
I really liked her.
I always confuse her with Jessica Chastain.
They did look, yeah. I could see that, absolutely.
I don't think I would do that anymore if I looked at like current photos of them, but...
I will also say I thought that she... I was laughing at this, just thinking that, because her running the woods, what else do you think of? Obviously Jurassic World. So I was like, hey, she's running in actual outdoor gear and not high heels. Yep. Sorry, just want to throw that in there.
Yeah. Good cast in this too.
Yeah.
Carl Urban,
yeah.
And what?
I said Carl Urban, yeah.
Okay, we both did say that. I thought I heard you say the same one.
The other guy too, the dad.
Robert Redford.
No.
Wes Bentley.
But yes, Robert Redford.
Oh my God, Robert Redford.
I like how. Go ahead. You say first. You wanted to talk about Robert Redford more than
I love
did.
Robert Redford. I don't think I've seen a movie in him that I don't like.
Seriously though, who does not like Robert Redford?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I can't talk. I have not seen a movie with Robert Redford in it that I don't think I like.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'm sure there are some bad ones.
Really quick, I want to throw a really deep cut Robert Redford movie out there for everyone to go watch.
If he says
the old man and the gun.
No.
If he says Winter Soldier, I'm going to throw my Powerade at him.
No! Have you ever heard of the movie Sneakers?
Sneakers. Yes, I've heard of it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Robert Redford and a gang. They try to break into places to because they're to show them where their security holes are. And so that place can actually build up their security better. It's a cool movie. So yeah, Robert Redford.
I really love All Is Lost.
Oh, yeah,
I really like that movie.
I haven't seen that, but okay, Robert Redford. So I'm on board.
Yeah, he says 4 words and one of them's the F-bomb.
All right, sign me up.
It's pretty wonderful.
Sign me up.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like how, because when I was watching it this time, he's not in the movie for 50 minutes.
No,
He opened after the car wreck opening, which I remember you saying, Jake.
That is beautiful. That is probably one of my favorite scenes of 2016.
Yeah,
For real. It's
they cut the sound.
silent. There's
in
no
2016?
sound. Yeah. You're in the thing the whole time.
You want to know?
It's wonderful. And it unlike Aladdin, it is slow motion with a point.
Yes. And Jake, you want to know a very small... I'm so glad you brought the car scene because there's a small point in that I thought was brilliant. I feel like...
Is it how they come back around full circle at the end and it ends the same way it began?
A little bit. But the first thing I was going to say was for I swear for a split second. I don't remember the actor's name that plays...
Pete?
Pete, yeah. I don't remember the actor's name. But,
Oaks Fegley.
Okay. I feel like for a split second when the car was flipping, he's like, ooh, we're moving really weird. And it was terrifying, all of a sudden. I thought that was a very interesting reaction from a kid that makes sense to me. Granted, I like roller coasters and that kind of those thrill things. So maybe that's just for me. But I feel like if I'm a young kid, I have no clue what's going on. All of a sudden the car's turning up and I'm like, ooh, and I'm that kind of thing. And I think he played that perfectly.
You need to take this away from me before I play with it so much it breaks open.
Yeah. So then I like how Robert Redford has that calming old man voice, kind of open it about
I was very,
because he's telling the kids the story about when he found a dragon in the woods.
I was very concerned that they were going to do a twist villain with him. And then they didn't, and my...
Yeah.
Jared, really quick before you say anything else, I want to jump on your thing about Robert Redford's voice. Yeah. Another note that I wrote down. Right here, Robert Redford needs to be added to the list of great narrators. Because, I'm listening to his voice, I'm like, oh my God, I can listen to this man talk for hours. It's just a calming.
Yeah, I love the part where when Elliot is invisible on the truck, and everyone's right, and then the kids are like, I don't know how to drive, and he's like, you're too young to drive, young lady. Scoot over. Yeah. Smashes through the wall. Goes, I thought I put it in reverse.
And he just uses a knife, a little pocket knife to get it. I thought that was clever.
Yeah, and speaking of the twist villain thing, there is no twist villain. And the villain isn't even really a villain. It's just an antagonist.
There's really not any villain. I understand why he did that, and I can't say that I wouldn't do it in the same position.
And the thing, I always talk about the bridge scene where he's concerned about his brother when they're dangling like that. I go, that's really good because he's a person. He's not a bad person. But I'm thinking about the scene before that kind of sets that up is when they're there to get Elliot and they first tranquilize him. Then he notices that the others are. He's like, what are you doing here? Get the kids out of here. He's concerned for people. I go, that's really good. That's a little more layered than I originally thought. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's good. And it's very simple, but it works really well.
I do have a little bit of a confession though.
Oh.
When they tranquilize Elliot and put him on the truck, the only thing I could think is, oh, look, it's Disney's Jurassic Park, the Lost World of Jurassic Park. That's the only thing. I don't know why.
I also have to mention, because Carl Urban is in this, it is so weird.
Seeing him in anything but being
and especially
Billy Butcher.
Yeah, well, especially that he had an American accent, right?
Yeah.
Like that threw me off. Like I was like, what is going?
Wait, you haven't seen Red? He's an American accent in Red, but most of it is him yelling and getting beat up by Bruce Willis.
I'll be honest,
I forgot he was in Red.
I forgot he was in Red, and it's been years.
Sadusky train you? Yeah, why? I trained Sadusky, and he pops his shoulder out.
I'm sorry, I'm just not used to seeing Carl Urban and not hearing a strong British accent and him saying the C word every other word he says.
Yeah,
like
that's the boys.
That's Carl Urban.
He's great in Lord of the Rings too.
Yeah, he
Wait,
is.
does he have an accent in Dread? I've never seen it.
I haven't either.
So there's another movie. So he's in a lot of stuff.
He is, but I guess it's recency bias.
Star Trek. He doesn't have an accent in Star Trek.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot he played Bones.
Bones, yep.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's just my recency bias, but I was just expecting like a very angry person.
It took a very long time for me to figure out who Billy Butcher was when you were talking about that.
What did
It
you
was a
jump
good
to
thing
the?
he said the boys, because I would not have got there.
Well, it's funny because the Scorsese movie Gangs of New York,
Billy Butcher.
Bill the Butcher is Daniel Day-Lewis's character. That's why when I heard it was Billy Butcher for the boys, I go,
You thought
that's really close to the other. But then I realized, the boys has been a thing in print before. Okay.
But yeah, all right,
I just keep thinking about it. It's David Lowery's the director.
He's done a couple of the Potter films, right?
The what films?
Harry Potter?
No, it's David Yates, I think.
Oh.
David Lowery has done A Ghost Story, which I've seen and is good.
Oh,
I think he did Old Man and the Gun. He did The Green Knight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm clicking on his name if I missed anything big. Ain't Them Body Saints is another one. Just very competent. This is the most stylistic of all these remakes that I've seen, where it's like there's clearly a director's voice in this. Mm-hmm. It looks really good too. It's very warmly lit and colored, and I remember thinking like, this just has this warm feeling. The others just feel so artificial. This just looks and feels real. And they
did film this in like actual sets, like actual locations.
I mean, it looks like it.
It would be absolutely shocked if they did not, because all it is a forest.
I know it's easy to do.
It's not like it's even a fantastical forest.
No, that's true. They probably could have just gone out their backyard in California somewhere and found it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably British Columbia
Or there too.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere in Canada,
Vancouver, or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah, easy enough to do. That's fair.
Yeah, still the only one that really needs to exist. Christopher Robin notwithstanding, because it doesn't feel like a remake.
I don't think
it feels like its own thing, but it's counted. But Pete's Dragon, it's like, makes perfect sense, and no one saw it. And then people who do see it that I've read, it's like, really like it. I wish more people have heard of it, because it's clearly the better 2016 Disney live-action remake, Dickey.
Yeah.
So I have one last thought. I have one last thought about Pete's Dragon. Before we started recording the podcast here, Jared completely shattered my world. I had thought that I had...
Oh, let's get into that.
I had thought I had seen Pete's Dragon. I remember a blank VHS tape with a dragon? with it on it, with something on it, and I could swear my parents always told me it's Pete's Dragon, and then we'd sing "Pop the Magic Dragon" song. Come to find out, that is not in Pete's Dragon at all.
No, it's Puff. It's not Pete.
It's a completely different thing.
Yeah. So I don't know what my childhood is anymore. If anyone wants to, hit us up in a comment and tell me what my childhood is.
Do they still have all those tapes somewhere?
Somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
You should ask if you can have, because it was probably some of them were they tape things, right? Off TV. You should ask if you can borrow those or have those, and we can try to figure out how to watch them and see what the heck you watched.
It was right after the end of Empire Strikes Back.
Nice.
What a double feature.
Nice.
No. It was just the end of Empire Strikes Back.
Oh.
It wasn't even the rest of Empire Strikes Back. It was just the duel between Luke and Vader.
Nice.
And then the end of it. And then apparently Puff the Magic Dragon and not Pete's Dragon.
That's awesome. One last thing I will mention before I jump on to me. So you want to know so I never saw the original movie, but do you want to know the only sense of attachment that I have to the original movie? Do you remember an old game?
No.
Disney Seen It.
Well, yeah, because it's just Seen It, but it's the Disney version.
It's the Disney version. And I The only thing I remember about Pete's Dragon, the old one, is there is a mini game on Disney Scene It that asks for you to remember what the dragon's name is. And I will never, ever, ever forget his name until the day I die because of that game. Just wanted to put it out there.
Drew and I used to play normal. Do they still make Scene It?
No. Because we were looking for, the last year at Christmas time, we wanted to play Disney Scene It. We were looking for it in my mom's basement, and she sold it. Do you want to know how much they are going for nowadays?
Wow, that was a lot of snaps.
They are going for a couple $100.
So $9,000?
Like, it's insane. What are you doing there? What are you doing there?
See, Scene It is a game that my siblings and I, we'd never play the board game. We just take the disc out, put it in, just keep hitting play. We don't want to play board game. It's boring.
It's fun. Anyway, so let's move on to the best pick here. Obviously mine, because I have the
movie that I dislike every time I watch it.
Because I have the best taste.
I dislike it more too.
Obviously, I have the best taste, but
hey, bad taste is still a taste.
And so really quick. It is the Jungle Book, but so here is the main reason why this is my favorite live action adaptation. The Jungle Book is the movie that I watched, again, going back to nostalgia. This is no shocker for me. This is no shocker for you guys. The movie I watched the most as a kid. My parents will testify. I spent hours and hours and hours in front of our family room TV. The best thing was that I used to sit, like when I was a kid, I used to like squat like a catcher. And I used to sit like that just in front of the TV, just staring up, just watching them say, because the bare necessity is a simple bare. Literally, I cannot put into words how much I love the original Jungle Book. So with that being said, that is why this Jungle Book is my favorite. It's because I still remember all the happy feelings that I got from the first Jungle Book. With that being said, here's the kicker. The CGI in this is, okay, the animals are bad. The animals talking are bad. I don't like that.
I don't know. I think I would have preferred this animals talking to the Lion King animals.
Yeah, there's more expression in these.
Yeah, there's more life in these.
Also say, do you guys want to hear something you're going to like to hear? I changed my mind.
About what?
About the Lion King.
What about it?
I don't like it anymore.
We did it!
Yeah! Congratulations!
It was right there, and then we shot it into the sky. We got it. Look at that! Welcome to the club. Oh, I'm so happy. That burning pile of dung is finally.
It took this rewatch of the Jungle Book to finally stick it into my thick skull. That modern looking animals talking is bad.
Yes! It started with dinosaur. And
it started with dinosaur, you're right!
Hey!
Those dinosaurs are creepy. They are creepy and weird. They are. But, so yeah,
it's because they blew all of their budget on the meteor shower. They had nothing left. Literally, both in the movie and in their budget.
That is probably true. But yeah, still okay. So let's rock and roll this. So yeah, I will say, I think one of the reasons why this also holds a little bit of weight to me is my boy Jon Favreau. I love him. I really truly do. The man, he has more hits than misses. He has his misses. He does.
Cowboys and Aliens.
That's a hit.
Yeah, yes, it is a hit, Jake. Absolutely, it is. But I think
the first 5 minutes or so.
If any other director directed this would have been like The Lion King. This would have, which I know Favreau did did that as well.
What?
I know.
What are you talking about?
I know. Okay, maybe not The Lion King. Maybe that's the wrong word.
But what are we comparing right now? I don't even understand.
I don't know.
What's
he
happening?
Literally just compared it to another movie to say it would have been bad like this. someone else other than this director that directed both of them.
I just think the Charming...
Are you saying that
the Charming
Jungle Book...
Charming. Oh, I know the Charming.
What's Charming? What is Charming? Tell me right now what's Charming about this remake. I want to know. I really do. So I want to strangle that kid.
It's the nostalgia feelings that I have.
So it's not the movie.
Yes, it is.
It's not the movie. It's the original.
It is me remembering the original.
That's it.
Through this movie. This movie is like...
This is the first Disney remake that started to bastardize songs.
Ooh, 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 I want to be like you. Was he getting his stomach pumped?
That was a weird scene. I'll give you that. That was kind of weird.
Bill Murray singing was okay.
That's the thing.
Really is this movie a musical? Though. Is this movie a musical? There's two songs. No, why did they even put them in it? Make it the full musical, or don't put it in there at all.
And like,
it's confusing.
Okay. I will grant you that I think this movie has a lot of interesting ideas to it. There's a lot of like framing and some of the ways the action plays out is really interesting. Some of the shots, I like that they gave a different explanation for what elephants were. Yes. That is more contextualized to where they are, I think.
They should have marched and had those funny British accents.
That would
in a military style.
That would have...
No, I'm kidding. I am kidding. That was always my favorite part of the original as a kid was the elephants. Because that guy.
That being said, if I look past my issues with the animation, a lot of the performances I feel are pretty darn stiff.
With the exception of two.
Idris Elba and Bill Murray.
And Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi is it?
Really?
Yeah, remember one of Baloo's neighbors? He's like that, like
aardvark, the porcupine thing?
No, not the porcupine. That was Gary Shandling, and that was his last performance. No, like the weird, like shelled armadillo-like thing. I think that's Sam Raimi. He's in the cast, yeah.
But even like ScarJo is like pretty stiff.
Yep, and it's one scene.
That's just that scene was weird because like I always remember I love the
and even like Ben Kingsley. Like, how do you make Ben Kingsley sound uncomfortable?
Because like I remember the original again, Ka, like the scene with Ka using the
There's a couple scenes
using the whole.
There's a reason for him to be there. Sheer sends him to get the kid.
Yeah,
and it's just kind of there in this one.
It made no like
it's just kind of there to be there. Hey, look at this! We're like the original. We're doing the same thing, except it's different.
It's the South Park member berries.
No,
remember this.
I'm just thinking of the original one. The couple times when Kai gets thrown off and he's all tangled up and he's like, look, he's got it on his tail. It's not funny. Sebastian Cabot just got that all like sneer about him when he voices Bagheera. And Kai was voiced by, I think, Sterling Holloway, who was the original voice of Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Just listen to his voice.
Yeah, I can hear that. That makes sense. That's cool.
Who was the voice of Mama Wolf? I don't remember her name.
Lupita Nyong'o?
Yes.
I think she... Because like, the talent is there. The cast... They had Giancarlo Esposito in this movie, for God's sake.
He was really stiff in this, too. He was not bad. He just... It's like...
Maybe it's just because I love him, like, unabashedly. Whenever I hear his voice, I'm like, yeah. Like, maybe that's the...
Even Idris Elba, like... And I don't think it was him. I think some of the timing of the voices and the movements of the animals was off because, like, when he's attacking, is it Akita? Is the name? Aquila is the name.
Yep.
Okay, so when he attacks Aquila, he says the thing, and then like a second passes, or no, it's the opposite way. He attacks Aquila while he's still saying something. And so then there's just this garble of noise, and it's like, what?
I did think
was that?
He should have when he threw him off. They should have added the Goofy. Should have been the Goofy yell. That would have made the movie way better.
I'm glad you mentioned that scene because I did think that scene was kind of silly.
Yeah, the whole thing is kind of silly.
Let's have a version where Mowgli's not even in it because his acting was bad.
Okay, well,
and he was really annoying.
Him some slack though.
No,
you have this. Cut him some slack. This kid is acting in front of nothing. He's acting in front of green. That's it.
So did the kid who did Life of Pi. Granted, he was less of a boy.
He was older though, right? I think
not much, though.
Not much.
I mean, to be the other thing I will say, kid actors are hard. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
hard
they
to
are
find
hard.
good
Not many
kid
of them are
actors.
good.
And the couple ones that you find are really impressive. And the fact that
This wasn't one of them.
No, and I'm not saying I'm not saying he was great.
No,
I'm
he's
not.
bad.
But and I'm
He's
not.
bad.
But I don't think he was bad.
Akela's dead, and you knew, and you didn't tell me.
Which-
How
why?
could you? It's like, shut up.
Why would he even
Shut
care?
up.
Why is that a problem?
I know it's a liar reveal. It's shoehorned in there just at really that part because they only set it up a little bit earlier, and then it doesn't even affect anything. In the original, it's the whole thing with Baloo. That's the other thing with Baloo, like telling him, "I don't want you to be here," and then he runs up a tree. And then the monkeys take him. I remember thinking, like, so that scene was in there for no reason because the monkeys are going to take him no matter what. In the original, it's they escape King Louis. And then Bagheera says, he only listens to you. You have to bring him back. And so that's when he tells him, I have to bring you back, that he runs away.
Mm-hmm.
That's way, way better than this.
It is.
It's just not as natural. And I don't mind it not being a carbon copy of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But then it just doesn't flow as well what they did.
I will say that also, I'm glad you brought up the King Louis stuff. God, I truly, I think I do like this movie. I do. The King Louis. Why? Is it so?
Are we going to say why Christopher Walken?
Why Christopher Walken?
With
and
the
why
heavy
is
accent.
It so dark and intense.
Okay.
Like
Why is he such a big...
that too?
I read about
I'm trying
that.
to understand.
That's some more prehistoric species that was extinct long before the movie takes place.
Really?
But so this isn't a real animal. This is they made the decision to make him this, which I don't care about the historical stuff. I don't care. But that's a decision to do that. Why did we make him that big? Why did we make him that species to make him that big? What is the...
Because a normal...
Because
normal. Was an orangutan in the original movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. A normal orangutan does not have the same presence, I guess.
I know, but everything else in this movie is made to look as natural as possible. And then you have him being like, why is he so big?
I think to give him some presence, and I think it ends up undercutting itself.
Yeah, because it seemed out of place. And I truly love I Want to Be Like You. Ooh, ooh. Like, that's a great song.
Yeah,
they just
ruined that.
They butchered my baby.
They
butchered my boy. Like, they just...
Oh, look, my boy. My boy! Father, help!
that's the original to this, Father, help! Or that's this to the original. Yeah, I just think comparatively to the other Disney live-action remakes,
it fits right in with how bad they are.
Hey, it led the pack.
Hey! Pause for effect. I will say, when the whole thing about him going to get the fire and like playing into what they think he's going to become was good.
yes.
Of course, I wanted to splice in what's his name from Home Alone after he looks back and sees, look what you did, you little jerk. And then he's like, I'm not gonna be like that, and he chucks it into the water. And I was like, I go, you idiot. That was the only thing you had.
Didn't Sheer say that?
Yeah, like that foolish or something. I go,
that was the only thing you had.
It's like, you idiot. I know it's a kid, but still, it's like, you moron. I don't like that.
What are you trying to prove there, bro?
Literally. And that leads me on to I know I started this off saying I like this movie, and I do like this movie.
We've been changing Dickey's mind the past few weeks.
But there are a healthy amount of issues.
Healthy amount of issues? There are a lot of issues.
And one of the things that you saying that reminded me of is one of the other things I wrote down is I'm trying to tell who this movie is for.
Money.
Because I can't pick out a target audience because
money.
I feel like I don't know. This doesn't seem like it's like.
I will tell you what you told us when The Lion King 2019 came out.
Oh boy!
They are remaking this for a new generation of people.
The thing is, I did say that.
Yeah.
But hey, opinions can change, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're subjective.
Yes. Oh God.
Now, the watering hole looked a lot like the Lion King one, too. And I remember thinking, like,
It
wow,
did.
are they going to sing a song where they just walk around it? Just can't wait to be king. That's the whole song. He just trotting in a circle.
We couldn't add any color to the sky or
Nothing.
whatever.
Now, sure. No, you
quick,
don't. Go ahead.
I wanted to mention, because you were razzing on the CGI, and I think for me, the actual visual effects, the blending, the compositing, I think those were done well. But you did mention the color, and now looking in my mind,
Are you talking about Lion King or Jungle Book?
This is for the Jungle Book.
Yes.
But it probably could be both. But Jungle Book is fresh on my mind. The colors were not there.
No.
The composite,
It was very
the CGI
yellow and
was,
green,
but
wasn't it?
Colors were not there.
It's pretty washed out, but at least there's green.
Oh.
Now, if you take all the green out of it, it's the Lion King. Now there's no color.
And let's talk about the most egregious thing
Oh, boy.
about this movie. Are you ready?
Go for it.
That ending where they try to do the Disney thing where they go out of the book and you're like, what?
No,
Did they open with the book?
No, they didn't.
Wait, really? I'm trying to remember.
They
now. I
didn't
can't-
open with the book.
They didn't open with the.
No, it starts in
So
the
are
jungle.
you telling me? Are you telling me they have the book end, but not the book?
Yeah. They also didn't include Ricky Tikki Tavi, the mongoose, and they couldn't have used the Donovan song. Come on, you're gonna sing two other songs from the Jungle Book. You're adding all this stuff. Just add the going Ricky Tikki Tavi, mongoose is gone. See, come on, it works.
Yeah.
That movie, that would have been a 10 out of 10 movie. If you have Donovan's Ricky Tikki Tavi in there, which is based off of the character from Kipling's source material.
Yeah, Jared.
I digress.
You having a stroke over there?
I just think at the end of the day, it's hard for me to separate.
Good from bad, I know.
Yeah. Dickey, we've been doing this podcast with you for almost 2 years now. We know.
It's hard for me.
We just get
like,
used to you making these claims.
Well, because listen, I am currently a hot mess, and like my brain is constantly my brain is constantly driving back and forth between, oh, these are the issues. This is bad. This is bad. But remember how good the first one was. This is
Again,
the Jungle Book.
but then you're talking about the first one.
The first
I
one
know,
is
but
good.
it's so hard to like call. It's the same. It's pretty much the same movie.
It's a clip show,
Yeah.
basically. If this clip show
and
effect, it's bad, but it reminds you of something you like.
Yes,
but
yes.
So it's pointless.
But even
just watch what you like.
True. That is true. This made me want to watch the original so bad.
So-
I might just watch this tonight while I work just because I want to.
So we talk about Bill Murray, because he was good. At the same time, his part of the fun of Baloo is how animated he is.
Yes.
So why did they take Baloo and just make him lazy?
Or walk like me. He's just doing
You
that. I
walked
go,
on all fours?
you don't live with me. I'm just saying, the
I
way he's
also
like,
don't really walk a whole
the way
lot.
he
I
like,
want to see Jared coming out.
the way he like swivels,
Kinda...
and then when he sits on two legs, like, I go, I don't like that.
Listen, the one thing I will laugh is that the oh yeah, you gotta get that so I can hibernate. And then he said later, it's like, you don't hibernate. Where do you something on a pair? I thought that was cute. That was fun.
Yeah, the
Actually,
whole
that's
movie is charming because of one
Oh,
joke.
That's the first thing I thought when he said that. I was like, wait, he doesn't hibernate.
That's
in the
like-
jungle.
Yeah.
What?
And the same with the climbing too. I'm like, bears can climb. What are you talking about? Bears can climb. He's just being lazy.
No, he's afraid of heights.
Oh yeah, right. He's afraid of heights too.
I was gonna say, you calling the movie charming because of one joke, if you were doing that, it's kind of like my friend calling Braveheart a comedy because they mooned the English in one part of a 3-hour movie. That's true. I'm like, Braveheart's funny. I go, yes, I love my intestines getting ripped out of my body. And they go, no, not that part. The part where they moon the English. And I go, that's one part of a 3-hour movie. It's not a very funny movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was saying, like, it would be funny if you go, well, that was nice. Let's see. On one hand, this problem, but the one funny line.
I always just try to look for the silver linings. I do. And it's hard for me to dog on a movie too much because I truly think there's at least a little bit of good in everything. Whether it's surrounded by crap, there's always just a touch,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. This movie enabled them to make The Lion King 2019, which The Lion King is one of my favorite movies of all time. I can never forgive them for that.
Yeah, I can't argue that. If I rewatched The Lion King, like I said, it's
Don't do it.
It's not.
Can
You changed
the love this afternoon?
You changed my mind. So good job, you guys. You
We didn't even have to talk to him that much about it.
All you had to do was make me rewatch one movie, and now I just changed my mind completely. But that's a conversation for a different time. So anything else about these Disney live action remakes?
It was a bad week, guys. Let's not do this again.
Yeah. I think we learned our lesson.
On the one hand, Jake got to see a movie he really liked, and I got to see a movie I remember liking and still really like.
And I have to see a movie that I remember really liking.
And then you
We're not talking about the Jungle Book.
Jungle Book. So it wasn't all bad. It was just 2/3 bad.
Yeah, sure.
He agreed.
Yeah, for you two. 2/3.
You think Pete's Dragon's bad?
No.
You think Jungle Book's better than Pete's Dragon?
No.
Ah!
Good job, you guys. You changed my mind.
We've broken him. Yes.
No,
Somebody get
we've
the
not
saddle.
broken him. We fixed him. He said he was a hot mess.
That's
we just
true.
mopped it up.
Well, if you want to watch more of these two fixing and making me better, where can you follow Off Slate Media?
Okay, you can go to Facebook, Instagram, funny TikTok, or if it's still around, Twitter. And then you can listen to us on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. If you want to watch us and see all the times we were screaming at him in this episode, check us out on YouTube. Like, subscribe, ring our bell. Make sure you rate and comment on all those lovely things. I forgot what they're called.
And the
Services
website.
site.
Platforms.
Platforms. There
Platform,
you
like
go.
the shoes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the website.
Oh, boy. Oh, man.
Well, there goes the hot mess. I'll have to end this, won't I?
Stupid joke. And it just got
It's not even a joke. I was just like, oh, like the platform.
Hey, everybody, don't forget to go. I don't know if Jade said, but don't forget to go to our website. And with that, thank you for watching our favorites.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
You